India was once known as the Golden Bird. We've all read about it in our history books, but what does Golden Bird even mean? It means the economic prosperity of the people of the country. From the era of the great Emperor Ashoka to the time of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, the founder of self-rule, the self-reliance of Indian villages, and we often forget that handloom boards were mentioned in India as far back as 2,000 years ago during the time of Emperor Ashoka. Excavations in Sindh, Pakistan, have revealed that cotton clothes were used in India as early as 7,500 years ago. The looms used to make these clothes have numerous needle-like parts that hold the threads. This process is also called warping. India's silk and cotton fabrics from Bengal. Take the Ashoka pillars built during Emperor Ashoka's reign, or the Iron Pillar of Delhi, erected 1600 years ago during the Gupta period, which remains rust-free even today. These are testaments to India's technological prowess. Then there are the Ajanta and Ellora caves, carved out thousands of years before the Islamic invasions. Our temples and water bodies that have stood for thousands of years. And the Yadava-era forts perched atop mountains, kissing the sky. These are all testaments to our architectural brilliance. Chhatrapati Shivaji are all testaments to our rich history. Looking at the prosperity and administration of city-states, we have the Vijayanagar Empire in the medieval period, ruled by Maharaja Krishna Deva Raya and Tenali Rama. And then there's the ideal state of Ramrajya, established by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, based on the principles of Lord Krishna, focused on the well-being of farmers, artisans, and the common people. Democracy. India's gift to the world is the concept of democracy. Newton's theory of gravity was discussed thousands of years ago in the Vedas, which talk about celestial bodies like planets, constellations, and stars. Geography, the discussion of the 7 continents of the Earth, the concept of gravity in biochemistry and physics. The Upanishads, discussing spiritual knowledge, and the health principles of Dhanvantari, Charaka, Sushruta, and Vagbhata in yoga and Ayurveda, which essentially gave us the knowledge of surgery. And to gain this knowledge, students from all over the world came to study in Indian universities like Nalanda and Takshashila. However, because India was under foreign rule, its glorious history was hidden from Indians through the Macaulay education system. Indians were taught that all inventions and research came from outside India, from Europe and America, and that India was just a land of uncivilized and ignorant people. The nation had 565 city-states or janapadas. If we look at the employment systems in most of these janapadas and city-states, there were employment and management systems to feed everyone. Except for a few exceptions, there was a system of decentralization of wealth, meaning distribution. Management also appears quite amazing. In villages, collective farming was practiced based on the idea of all land belongs to Gopal, Lord Krishna. Villages were run on the concept of village trusteeship. The responsibility of orphans and disabled individuals rested with the collective village community. All agricultural work was done using oxen. Cows, being the mothers of oxen and providers of nutritious food like milk, curd and ghee for humans, were revered as mothers in Indian culture. Taxes were also paid collectively, and villages had collective arrangements for grain storage, like community granaries. People's homes also had underground granaries, storing at least 2 years' worth of grain. So, accounting is just one example. The king of a city-state or the head of a janapada rarely interfered in the internal affairs of villages. Villages independently managed their local development funds and only sent 1/6 of their income as security tax to the state. In this way, villages functioned with independent governance. In cities, occupations were divided and large-scale jobs were collective. Textile industries primarily produced cotton, woolen, and silk fabrics. Oil extraction from oil presses, lentil processing, and other agricultural processes were prominent in urban industries. Metal industries manufactured iron, copper, brass and bronze utensils. Lime production used in city construction was quite advanced. The production processes and sales management ensured employment for everyone. Cities had systems for everything from grain storage for residents to supplying water through clay pipelines from ponds. There were arrangements for lighting oil lamps at crossroads at night. Cities had drains, roads, public halls, dharamshalas, rest houses for travelers, small and large schools for education, public grounds and gymnasiums for yoga and exercise, and healthcare facilities based on Ayurveda and Unani medicine. Besides cities, tribes in India's forests and remote mountainous regions had their independent self-rule. These nature worshippers protected water, forests and land. For ecological balance, it's crucial to have 1/3 of the Earth's land covered in forests. Biodiversity in forests plays a vital role in the cycle of creation, ensuring the continuation of life on Earth. People living in forests took it upon themselves to protect minor forest products and the forests themselves. At one point, large parts of western, northern and eastern Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand were under the Gondwana kingdom, where tribes had small, independent, self-ruled territories. Their primary source of income was the forest. Resources, which include India's rivers and coastal areas. The people living there engaged in fish production, pearl and gemstone extraction from water, cultivation of aquatic plants like water chestnuts, lotus flower production, riverbank farming of muskmelons, watermelons, cucumbers and sea salt production, all within their respective areas. Just like we revere our mothers, we should also respect and protect Mother Earth. Education and healthcare, essentially the preservation of life and justice, were considered sacred duties, and donations were the primary means of support. Students, after completing their education, would offer donations to their gurus according to their capacity. Similarly, after recovering from illness, patients would offer donations to doctors and healers as per their means. Likewise, for matters of justice, the principle of find solutions where the problem lies was followed. Village or city societies with their diverse castes were already enslaving other nations mentally before coming to India, and their education system played a key role. At that time, without print and electronic media for mass communication, education was their tool to create a class of officials and employees who would run their system and support their exploitative rule. So, the British first implemented this education system in Bengal province, which included Bengal, Bihar and Odisha. They had captured this region from the Marathas, who were the dominant power then. Later, when they ruled all of India, English this faced a major uprising, the Revolt of 1857. Then came the revolts of Birsa Munda and other tribal leaders, Mahatma Gandhi's Salt Satyagraha, Lokmanya Tilak, who declared, "Swaraj, self-rule, is my birthright." Gandhi's boycott of foreign goods and the Swadeshi movement, Sardar Bhagat Singh, the sacrifices of millions of revolutionaries like Ashfaq Ullah Khan, and the outbreak of World War II, which led to economic losses for European nations. This fueled the demand for independence in their colonies, including India's Quit India movement, Gandhi's Do or Die call, Netaji's Azad Hind Fauj. Seeing the intensity of the movement, the British Parliament passed a resolution for the transfer of power in India, keeping their business interests in mind. While the people are celebrating the nectar of independence, has India truly become the Hind Swaraj, envisioned by Mahatma Gandhi, the India dreamt of by martyrs like Netaji and Bhagat Singh? Have we understood the concepts of Gram Swaraj, village self-rule, advocated by Vinoba Bhave, and Gram Gita, village song, by Tukadoji Maharaj, which emphasized social harmony? Such individuals need to turn towards self-reliance, Swadeshi products, cottage industries, village industries and home industries. We need to think in the direction of creating more and more employment opportunities through self-help groups, cooperatives and community support. In a densely populated country like India, we need to create employment through a decentralized system that ensures dignified livelihoods for all. For example, take Khadi or Swadeshi cotton clothes manufactured in cottage industries. From an employment perspective, if 1 crore, 10 million people in India wear Khadi clothes, It provides employment to 12 to 15 lakh, 1.2 to 1.5 million people. If India's population of 135 crore, 1.35 billion, were to wear these clothes, then 20, we have to adopt our local products. We have to raise the slogan of vocal for local. Our Honourable Prime Minister has also emphasised this by talking about a self-reliant India, which will lead to job creation and wealth generation at the local level in our country. It will also free us from dependence on foreign goods, making it easier to establish true self-rule in India. We need to move towards our heritage, Indian civilization and culture, along with yoga and spirituality. This will help India become a golden line and a guiding light for the world, reclaiming its position as the spiritual guru of the world. For this, all of us Indians need to make sincere efforts. Jai Hind, Jai.